So, I like seeing everyone from, different parts of the world. To be honest with you, 10, 15, plus years ago when I said I'm going to start a little internet business, I was in Stamford, Connecticut, and I'm going to tell you, I didn't think anyone outside of my neighborhood would ever know who the heck I am. But here I am, fast forward, and people all over the globe knows who I am. That's what I love about the internet and helping people.
Woohoo!
Yes, sir. And this good buddy I met years and years and years ago, 2003 or 4, I want to
May,
say I met Jim.
it was May of 2003.
May 2003?
Yep.
That's 14 years ago, going on 15. I've known this gentleman. My kids call him Uncle Jim. That's how close we've become. We vacation together. Aside from being a really, really good guy, I hate to say this in public, but he's actually a really smart guy as well.
It hurt you to say that.
It pains me to say that publicly because I know on our next call, you're going to say, remember that time you said that I was a smart guy? You weren't lying.
That's right.
But the interesting thing, guys, I always say internet marketing and building a business and building your future is not something you do by yourself. You need to have mentors and you need to have people that you mastermind and talk with and bounce ideas off of. It doesn't matter what level you are at. Find someone who's going in the same direction as you are and bounce ideas off of each other. Jim and I actually get together every Thursday, except when one of us are on vacation or speaking somewhere in the world. How many years now would you say we've been doing that, Jim?
At least 10 years.
10 years. Every single Thursday. And yes, this morning we had our call this morning also. And you'll be amazed at the things I'm working on or Jim's working on, and we kind of map it out for each other, or ideas that we give to the next person who says, man, that was a great idea. Take it and turn it into something big. So this is not only a business partner, a friend, but I consider him my brother from another mother. And what he's going to teach you today, which is powerful, is how can you build a Kindle product and be able to do that in just about 3 hours. I mean, think about what you can do on Amazon and with Kindle if you can create a content in just 3 hours versus taking the next 4, 5, 6 weeks of your time to do something. Would you do more of it if you can do it fast? And the answer should be yes. So he's going to show you how to take the work out of creating content that you can sell all over the globe on Kindle. So with that being said, Jim, I'm going to mute myself. I will be here listening, and I will turn it over to you.
Cool. Well, thank you, Greg. Hey, can you hear me okay? Am I loud enough?
Yes, you are.
Okay, cool. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Greg. I really, really appreciate it. And everything Greg said is true. We've been buddies for years now, helped each other through thick and thin. So he's a good guy, and you're fortunate to be on his list. So today we're going to be talking about how to create your own unique Kindle books in 3 hours flat, how to get your own unique original Kindle books along with Amazon listing, the author bio, the sales page copy, and more created in under 3 hours without sitting down to write a single word of it yourself. And this works even if you hate writing and never want to know anything about how to format a book. And the cool thing is we're also going to do a live webinar demo that's going to show you the new 3-hour Kindle book wizard that actually creates all the pieces of your Kindle books and marketing materials for you. So before we jump into this, let's talk about just some fun facts about Amazon, other than the fact that Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, this week or last week, briefly became the richest man on earth, worth $100 billion or something like that. Amazon actually has 294 million active customer accounts worldwide. Their global revenue is almost $90 billion per year net. And to put that into perspective, because I don't know about you, but I don't have $1 billion. That $90 billion a year is actually higher than the gross national product of 2/3 of all the countries on planet Earth. So they own 73.7% of the e-reader market share. And the bottom line is that with Amazon and Kindle, it's where the customers are and it's where people spend money, especially on books. So quick story about my very first book. My first book was Selling Your Home Alone. It took me 4 years to write the content. I wrote it off and on from 1992 to 1996. I got rejected by over 40 publishers. Woohoo! I had this file where I kept all the rejection letters, and finally I just stopped counting. And I ended up self-publishing the book myself, actually at Kinko's. Had it comb bound at Kinko's. And I started walking around and handing it out to people in my local market who were trying to sell their houses themselves. And I would simply offer them a copy of the book and say, if this helps you, would you write me a testimonial? And if it doesn't, if it doesn't help you, I didn't say it. If it helps you, and if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call and I'll be glad to help you. So what ended up happening was some people used the book and sold their house. And a lot of people read the book, realized what they had to do, and said, to heck with this. I'll call a realtor. And who do you think they called? They called me. And I took 52 listings my first year in real estate by using my book as a business card with for sale by owners. So in 1997, I started actually selling the book online as an ebook. I got written up in the New York Times, was actually on the front cover of the Sunday real estate section. And I got up to the point where that little book at $29, $39 a pop, depending on where I was testing the price, was up to the point where it paid my house payment, 2 car payments, and the electric bill each month. And the interesting thing is that I have never had a traditional publishing deal, though I have had offers over the years. I know that I can make more money self-publishing my books than I would ever make with a publisher. So my first book took 4 years to write the content. Interestingly enough, my most recent book only took 72 minutes to create the content. And that's really what we're going to be talking about today. So my goal today is to provide you with paid level quality training on this webinar. This should be good enough that you would have felt good paying between $97 and $197 for it. And you will be able to give me my report card at the end as to whether or not I have fulfilled that promise or not. So quick question for you guys who are here live. What is your biggest concern when it comes to publishing a Kindle or other book or ebook? In the Q&A box, tell me when I say publishing a book, Kindle book, ebook, and interestingly enough, we're going to use those terms very interchangeably because it's only the difference between an ebook, a book, and a Kindle book is simply where somebody buys it. So Michael says formatting. Matthew says graphic design and layout. Dot says formatting. Carolyn says not having my own original content. Terry says marketing. Jose says legal claims. So that's interesting, and those are really straight. You know, those are right on with what I see. Chapman says concern that is original enough that has not been done before. John says time. And these are great because typically it comes down to creating content that people actually want to buy, formatting it in a way so that it looks good and professional, having a good looking cover, being able to market it and get it out there. So these are right in line. And of course, the time that people think it takes to do this. So here's why people like you. Oh, and the cool thing is we're going to address every single one of those issues except the legal claims one because I can't give legal advice. But we're going to address all those issues in this training. So let's talk about why people like you want to create a Kindle book or a series of Kindle books. And the first one is you want to make money selling books. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having Amazon deposit money into your account every single month for the sales you made. It's an awesome thing. Another reason why people want to publish a book is the authority that comes from being an author. And interestingly enough, what are the first 7 letters or 6 letters in authority? It's author. Credibility that comes from being published on Amazon, because frankly, being published on Amazon is what matters. It's not whether you have a New York publisher. When people see your book on Amazon, that makes it a real book. And people like you want to create Kindle books or a series of Kindle books to generate leads and sales, because smart authors, smart marketers know that a book is really the top of a funnel, a marketing funnel that leads people to buy more and higher priced items from you. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Jim Edwards. I'm a self-taught author, publisher, copywriter, and content creator. I've been selling online since 1997, so coming up over 20 years now. I've been featured in the New York Times, Entrepreneur Magazine, countless other publications around the globe. I spent 10 years as a syndicated newspaper columnist writing real stories for real newspapers across the United States. I'm a best-selling author of both fiction and nonfiction, and I've made millions in sales from ebooks, books, info products, membership sites, and interviews. In fact, these are just some of the books that I have published on Amazon, all of which have been bestsellers. So I even wrote a best-selling zombie book that did extremely well in a very competitive category of over 14,000 books. So what we're going to cover today, I'm going to talk about what stops most people. How long does a Kindle book really need to be? 2 ways to get it done, the hard way versus the smart way. Live case study, a demo of a cool new easy button wizard, and much, much more. So there are basically 3 things that stop most people with Kindle, with creating a book of any type whatsoever. It's the time to get it done, the effort it takes to do it, and the mechanics of setting everything up. The good news is we're going to fix all 3 of these on this webinar. So first question is, how long does a non-fiction Kindle book need to be? And interestingly enough, when I started selling books online back in 1997, people wanted you to sell them a 300-page book. They felt like if they were buying an ebook from you, you should solve every problem they had. You should show them every single conceivable way to solve that problem. And now we fast forward 20 years, people don't want to read a 300-page book. They want to know the fastest way and only one way to solve their problem. So the good news is when it comes to a nonfiction Kindle book, on the low end, we're talking about 4,000 words. So that's 8 500-word pages in Word. So when I say a 500-word page, in my mind, I'm seeing Microsoft Word or Pages on a Mac. 12-point type, single-spaced, Times New Roman. That's a page. So 8 500-word pages on the low end and 20 500-word pages on the high end. So between 4,000 and 10,000 words is the perfect length for a non-fiction Kindle book. Now, we're not talking about vampire fantasy here or any type of fiction book. We're talking about non-fiction books that you would use for a business purpose. So there are really 2 ways to create a Kindle book, an ebook, or a print book, really any book. There's the hard way and there's the smart way. And more on that in just a minute. But before we talk about how to do it, we have to have a mindset shift. And we have to shift from thinking about writing versus creating a book's contents. We need for the light bulb really to turn on. So writing versus creating a book's contents. You need to stop thinking in terms of writing and start thinking in terms of creating. Why? Because when you're writing, now on average, most people can type on average between 40 and 50 words per minute. Maybe you can type faster. In fact, tell me in the Q&A box what your typing speed is. I can actually type at 85 words a minute. And that's been hard fought over the years to get it to that speed. But the problem is, no matter how fast or how slow your typing speed, what happens is your fingers can never keep up with your brain. Your mind, for most people, Matthew says I type about as fast as my mind thinks. You are definitely the exception. Most people think a lot faster than they can type. And that's why you end up losing your train of thought and you keep getting into a problem where you just keep losing your thoughts and you can't type and compose right at the keyboard, the average person. And the reason that I can type that fast is because I spent 10 years as a newspaper columnist and had to be able to do it. So that's why it's so hard to sit down and just type a book. So The cool thing is that on average, people can speak between 110 and 150 words a minute. Now, you might talk a little faster, you might talk a little slower, but on average, that's 110 to 150 words per minute is how fast people speak, which just happens to mean that 60 minutes of speaking is between 6,600 and 9,000 words, which just happens to be in the sweet spot for how much content we need to be able to create a Kindle book. So there are really two ways to do it when it comes to creating your book. The first way is what I call the mountain climber process. And this, of course, is the hard way because I've never heard of anybody talk about climbing a mountain, and it was really, really easy. Now, this is the traditional ebook or book path, okay? And think of it as climbing a mountain, or think of it as climbing up a set of stairs. I always like to think of this as that, and this shows my age, but that old The Price is Right game where they had the little mountain climber and they would go, and it would have this little thing that moved its way up the steps and hopefully didn't go over the side. Anyway, I'm sure Greg could yodel better than me. So here's the thing. You have an idea for a book and you're like, man, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to write a book. And you start telling everybody I'm going to write a book. So you start researching and you're all excited. Yeah, keep your day job. Thank you. Then you outline the book and then you start to write and then you write some more and then you write some more and then you write some more and then you keep writing. And then you're like, oh man, I got to get a cover. And then I got to edit it. And then I got to format it. And then I got to get a website. And then I got to get an Amazon. And it's hard and it's long and people give up. Now, does this sound familiar to anyone? Anybody who's here live? Does this, maybe you're in the middle of this process as we speak or have gone through this type of process? Matthew says, oh, yes. Others saying yes, 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 pain. There you go. So that's the traditional way of doing it. And that's why most people have such an issue getting it done. Now I'm going to show you the bobsled run process, which is the smart way of doing this. And everybody knows how a bobsled works. Basically, you're the first one to jump in the bobsled. You have a team of people that push the bobsled for you. You set the course. Your team does the heavy pushing, not you. You jump in first. They jump in behind you. You pick up speed and momentum takes over. Gravity takes over. And pretty much once you've gone over that first hump, as long as you can keep it on the course, gravity's going to take you all the way to the bottom. And before you know it, your book is done and published. So the smart bobsled strategy is easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, you do a 60 to 90 minute interview to create the book's contents. And I'm going to assume that you're the expert, though you can interview other people as well. You have the interview transcribed, so you have the audio turned into text by somebody, and you have that transcription turned into a book. And if you're an author, a speaker, a coach, a professional, an entrepreneur, or an infopreneur, this process was made for you. Now, I'm going to teach you this process in depth in just a second. But the bottom line is this process I'm about to teach you is all about momentum. Once you get momentum, the book is as good as done the instant you start. So this is the 3-hour Kindle book process. I'm going to show you the process right now from start to finish. And I want you to note, though, that this is 3 hours of total work by you. This is not 3 hours in a row. So you do a little bit here, you do a little bit there, and then it's done. So step 1 is to define your audience. Who are you creating the book for? Who is the type of person you want to feed into your funnel? And what will you create your book about? What's the topic going to be? What do people want? What's the payoff? Now, here's the key. You want to solve a pressing, painful problem that they really want and need to solve immediately. That's the kind of book that sells and sells quickly and sells well. Solving a problem for people that they don't really care about or they're mildly interested in is what equates to hardly any sales. So the time to do this is about 10 minutes. You know who your audience is. You know what their problems are. Pick the worst problem and say, okay, I'm going to make a book about that. So the second step is to actually prepare the interview. And this is where a lot of people fall off in the process. This is what we call interview prep. And there are two key parts to your interview. There's the angle of the interview and there's the questions you ask. Now, truth be told, I learned about this working for newspapers, because to have a great interview, you've got to have a great angle. That's the thing the editor would always ask. Okay, what's the angle of this interview? And I learned that there were key angles that you could use. In fact, once you pick the angle, the questions would take care of themselves. So you decide on the angle of the interview. These are typical angles that work for books. Okay, beginner's guide, critical skills, frequently asked questions, how did you get started, mistakes people make, myths and misconceptions, new idea or technique, rules of the road, state of the union, step-by-step roadmap, tips, tricks, and secrets. Those are the angles that make great books. And then basically you just create the questions for the interview based on the angle. And we're going to show you a cool example here in just a few minutes. And basically you have intro, you have the body, and you have the conclusion. Now the time to do all this is about 20 minutes to put all these questions together. Like I said, once you have decided on the angle, then you come up with the questions based on the angle. Now, the third step is to actually order your book cover now. Don't wait. And the reason you would order your book cover before you have even created it is because that creates momentum. You'll see that cover in a day or two and you go, damn, I really am making a book. And it's a psychological hump where you look at it and you say, damn, I'm writing a book. I'm getting this thing done. Now, unless you are a graphic artist, do not make your own cover, because nothing screams, hey, I'm a self-published idiot, like a cover that looks like you made it yourself using Microsoft Paint. And again, the reason why you order it now before the book is done is because it makes it real. It builds momentum for you. Now, you can get a Kindle cover done on Fiverr, Fiverr.com for between 10 and 20 bucks. You can also get a CreateSpace cover done for between 20 and 30 bucks. That's for a print version. By the way, the only difference between a Kindle cover and a CreateSpace book, which CreateSpace, for those of you who don't know, CreateSpace is Amazon's print-on-demand arm. They will turn your Kindle book, your ebook, into a print book at absolutely no charge to you. There is no publishing fee. You just pay if you want a copy of the book. And when someone buys a copy of the book, they pay. Amazon prints it off and sends it to them, and they send you your portion of the profit. So the only difference also is that a CreateSpace cover, you need to have back cover copy. In other words, maybe pick up a book and look at the back. There's words on the back. That's back cover copy. So you'll need to write the stuff that goes on the back. The other thing is to make sure that you have the rights to the graphics that are used on the cover. Now, the cool thing is that if you go on Fiverr and you search for ebook cover creation and you sort by the number of reviews and stuff, the top people that will make covers for you typically use one of several different royalty-free image sites. And they'll tell you, just go to this site, pick it out, and then they'll include 1, 2, or 3 images in your cover. In the price of making your cover, just depending on what package you get. But the key is, don't ever just go on Amazon or, well, anywhere, Google, somewhere like that, and just grab a picture and say, man, this picture looked great on my cover. And that's a great way to get a letter from somebody and their attorney. So again, this time is going to take you about 20 minutes to do. Why? Because you have to go to Fiverr and order it, which takes 2 minutes. But then the person who's making the book for you is going to ask you, hey, copy and paste in your title and stuff. Go pick out a picture. And they'll probably ask you to point them to a couple different covers that you like on Amazon that they can see formatting and colors and things like that. So step number 4 is actually to record the interview using the phone. And again, warning, this is where a chunk of people fall down because they get bogged down in technology. Everybody can talk on the phone. Don't try and do it on Skype or anything else. I take that back to 1 degree. I will use Zoom.us, which is a cool service. It costs like 20 bucks a month. But all of us have a smartphone, and the microphone in your smartphone is one of the best microphones in the world. So you can simply just use your smartphone. Have a friend or a colleague interview you, ask you the questions, you answer the questions, those answers become the content for your book. The cool thing is if you mess up, you just keep going. You can edit the mistakes out of the transcript. So it's easy to jump on the phone and just ask and answer questions with freeconferencecall.com, and it's free. Freeconferencecall.com is absolutely free. Both of you jump on the phone, you hit the record button, you ask and answer the questions, and you download the MP3 audio file. That's it. You're done. That's all it takes. Literally, you jump on there, and you can be logged into freeconferencecall.com. See who's on there, you and your buddy. You whack the record button. When you're done talking, you turn record off, and then you download the MP3 file, and that's it. The time to do it is between 60 and 90 minutes. Why? Because you're going to do an interview that lasts about 60 and 90 minutes. So you create your book in real time. The cost of it is absolutely free. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Would you like a little extra tidbit, a little something extra, a little nifty tip at this point that will have your mind just absolutely blown? Or would you like me just to keep going and not give you anything extra? Okay, well, Michael and Rich have said yes, so I will tell this to you. What is typically the thing that every author comes out with a version of their book once they have written their book? What do they do? What do they go in the studio and record? They record the audio. That's right, Michael. They record the audio version of their book. Rich got it too. No, not the Christmas version, John. They record the audio version of their book. Well, here's the thing. You have done this in reverse. Your audiobook version is already done as soon as you do the interview. So in your book, you automatically have an upsell. If you want to, you can say, hey, books for whatever it is. And if you'd like to add the audio version to your order, click here. Or what a lot of people do is they use the offer of the interview in their book to say, hey, go over here to my website and register your copy of the book, which is a fancy way of saying opt in, and I'll give you the audio version of the book. And it's a great way to take people that buy your book on Amazon and get them to come over to your website and give you their email address because they want the audiobook version. So you have your upsell, you have your opt-in magnet, whatever you want to do. Is that cool or what? I mean, that's just totally reversing the process. Instead of you typing up your book, suffering through it, bleeding from your fingers, and then trying to read your book to create the audio version, you have reversed the process. And people are saying, nice, yes, cool, excellent. So it's a nifty little extra tip. So now we're on to step 5, where you have this transcribed. And you're going to send your MP3 file to rev.com. And you're going to have it transcribed. They charge $1 a minute. So a 60-minute interview is going to cost you $60. The time to do this is 10 minutes. Now, what is Rev? Rev is like the Walmart of transcriptions. I've had multiple transcriptionists over the years that I've worked with. They've done great jobs, but they're only one person. But what Rev is like this giant clearinghouse of people that are just sitting there, fully tested, fully vetted, that are ready to transcribe whatever you send in. And so if you ever have a problem, Rev will fix it. I've never had a problem with it. In fact, my sister, who is the president of a big Beltway Bandit consulting firm, asked me 2 days ago, she says, hey, who are you using for transcriptions now? And I told her I only use Rev. She sent it in. She sent in her thing. It was like 32 minutes long. She got it back in 3 hours and she was ecstatic. Now, my sister is hypercritical of everything. And she told me, man, this was great. So Rev is awesome. It's who I recommend you use. So literally, it couldn't be easier to use. You sign up for a free account, you log in, you upload your MP3 file. This example I have here is basically just a I wanted to create a free report. So I had my buddy Jeff interview me. I actually had a $10 off coupon. So it cost me $3. I paid for it with my American Express. They said, hey, your order was successful. Here's where you are in the process. And then they sent me an email as soon as it was done. I got it back in like an hour. And then they send you a link to actually download the file. So step number 6 is to do and Matthew says, will they transcribe from an MP4 file? I believe they will do that now. Yes. So step number 6 is a light edit, and a light edit is basically exactly what it means. You do spelling and punctuation. And this is where a lot of people can get derailed, because all of a sudden they turn into the newspaper editor on their words. Look, it's a transcription of a live interview. That's what it is. You're not going to win a Pulitzer. Now, you can hire somebody from Fiverr for between $30 and $60 to do a grammar and punctuation edit. I don't think you need to, but that's up to you. The key here, and this is the big key, you want to add a cover letter about it being a live interview. There are certain expectations people have when they read, when you've written something. We all speak differently than we write in most cases. But once somebody understands, hey, this was done as an interview, then it's not a big deal. They're like, oh, okay, this was done as an interview, and then they read it and it's done as an interview. It's not a big deal. Then as part of your edit, you're going to add your calls to action to the book to drive people to your website and to your offers. And in the case study I'm going to show you here in just a minute, the fact that it was an interview actually helped this particular author, an experienced author, to have his biggest month on Amazon ever using an interview book. Now, the time to do your edit is going to be approximately 30 minutes. How long this takes is really up to you. Again, if you want to get totally anal about this, you can spend 5-10 hours on it. I don't think you need to. All you got to do is just check your spelling, punctuation, and break up big chunky paragraphs. So now we're on to step 7, which is to get it formatted, which people were very worried about at the beginning of the training. Here's the thing. You are not going to format your own book. You're going to get your book formatted on Fiverr.com. You're going to get somebody who's doing it all the time to do it for you for 20 or 30 bucks. Now, here's the thing you got to remember. All books have chapters, right? Right. Well, since you're doing an interview book, the main, or each big main question that makes up the interview, make that a chapter in the book. That's a key to remember. So Kindle formatting is going to cost you between 10 and 20 bucks. I always want to get the formatted docx file back so I can convert it to PDF and sell it from my own site. So I'll end up paying a little bit more because I want to have it back formatted as a docx file. I recommend you doing that because otherwise they'll give it to you in like an EPUB format or something like that, and you can't edit that. So CreateSpace formatting is going to cost you $10 to $20, and don't try and do it yourself. Have somebody else format it for you. And the cool thing is that if you have somebody else do it for you, it's going to take you 10 minutes to get your book formatted. If you try and do it yourself, it's going to turn into 2 days of hell, and then you're going to give up and you're not going to be happy. So step number 8 is you're going to upload it to Kindle. And this is one of the most anticlimactic parts of the whole thing, because uploading it to Kindle, basically you just copy and paste in your title and your description and your keywords. You upload the book that somebody else formatted. You upload the cover that somebody else made. You tell them how much you want to charge for it. You certify that, yeah, you are the author, and boom, it's done. You're published. And if you want to do the same on CreateSpace, it takes about 10 minutes on CreateSpace. And if you want to do it on your own website, but bottom line, you're done. You are now a published author. Congratulations, you are now the author of a unique, original, published Kindle book or print book on CreateSpace or PDF book off your own website. Time to do this, approximately 2 3/4 to 4 hours of total work. So question for you guys. I said at the beginning that this training was going to be as good or better than what people were charging 100 to $200 for? Am I delivering so far? Tell me in the comments in the Q&A box if this is as good as what others would charge for, and if you'd like me to keep going. Yes or no? Michael says yes. Everybody else enjoying this? I'm seeing yes, yes. Matthew says, do you need a Kindle account? Yeah, but it's free to get a Kindle account. It takes a half a second. Joe says, very good. Please keep going. You rock. Yep, good info. Cool. Thanks. All right, cool. Excellent. And by the way, I will be able to answer questions at the end. So no worries about that. So now what I want to do for you is to demo your easy button for this whole process. And I want to show you guys a demo of a piece of software called the 3-Hour Kindle Book Wizard, which helps you to create your own unique real Kindle or ebook in 3 hours flat. This is going to help you to take the process that I just showed you and put it on steroids and speed at the same time. So what I want to show you guys now is the easy button for the whole process. It's called the 3-Hour Kindle Book Wizard. And I'm going to show you over about the next 10 to 12 minutes how this works. But basically what it does is it takes everything that I showed you, and I didn't hold anything back, all right? But it takes everything that I showed you and it makes it step-by-step simple and point and click simple for you to be able to do it. So let me do a quick demo of this for you. And let me get it on a full screen. Now, one thing you might want to do, again, click those 4 arrows in the lower right-hand corner so it will make it big for you on the screen. But basically how this software works is it works on both PC and Mac, and it asks you a series of questions, and then it creates everything you need in order to make your book. So the example that we're going to use right here is with a friend of mine named Stu Smith, and I'm going to pull up his book on Amazon. I should have had it ready to go. Here we go. All right, so we actually used the wizard to create Stu's book on Amazon, and we're going to talk more about that in just a minute, but this is the actual example that we're doing right here. So it asks you a series of questions, going to ask you who's the interviewer, who's going to ask the questions, who's the author, so in this case it would be you, so you would choose a friend, then the author's name, and it's going to ask you who your target audience is. It's going to ask you what the keyword theme is for your book. It's going to ask you what your topic is. It's going to ask you the big payoff for the audience. It's going to ask you 3 benefits that your audience wants. So in this case, it's enjoy intense workouts to increase strength, recover faster, avoid injuries. Then what it's going to do is help you with something that most people have a real problem with, especially people who are authors or want to be authors, and that is getting together all of the information about you and why people should listen to you as an author. Because the funny thing is that as soon as we start trying to sell ourselves, we all think that everything we've done is no big deal because it's just, you know, it's us. We've done it. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal. So the cool thing about this software is that it gets all the stuff out of your head. So ask you questions about your education, your experience, your awards, special things that give you, have helped you earn the right to teach on this topic, cool facts about you, and a big obstacle. Then the last 3 are basically what's your book title. Now, Stu had a book title, but if he didn't, and I'll show you here in a minute, if he hadn't had a book title, the software would actually write over 100 different titles for you. Then it's going to ask you for the questions in your interview, but when you see this, you'll be amazed. And then some cool secret that you're gonna ask. So once you filled this out, the first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to obviously want to save it. And then you're going to click the build button, and this is where all the magic starts happening, okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to figure out which type of interview you're going to want to create for your actual interview. And what's the angle? And remember I said there were certain angles that worked really, really well. So what this will do, you can do a beginner's guide, you can do a critical skills, FAQ, how'd you get started, mistakes, myths and misconceptions, new idea or technique, rules of the road, state of the union, step-by-step roadmap, tips, tricks, and secrets. My personal favorite is the mistakes. And the reason why I love mistake books is because it takes all the mental pressure off of you. Because we can all explain to people what not to do, and you don't have to feel like you're the Albert Einstein on a particular topic, but we can all help people avoid mistakes. Now, in this particular case, Stu decided that he wanted to do the new idea or technique. So we just chose the new idea technique book interview. And you click the build button and save it, and then you click view. And here's what it does. It creates an entire interview totally customized with that angle with all of your information. So remember, we said we have an introduction, we have the questions, we have a conclusion. So the interesting thing is that the initial title that it had here was, "Hi everyone and welcome to What's New with Recovery and Maintenance, an interview with Stu Smith." Now he already had a title that he wanted to use. And I'm going to show you a bunch of different other titles in just a second. But it writes the whole introduction. So, hi, my name is Jim Edwards, and today I'm talking with recovery and maintenance expert Stu Smith about new developments in the area of recovery and maintenance and still being able to do physically what you did when you were 20. Welcome, Stu. Stu's a well-known expert in the area in the subject of recovery and maintenance. Has graciously consented this interview to share extensive knowledge and experience so every tactical athlete over 40 can understand how to train effectively and actively pursue recovery. So now we go through, and it's got all the questions that we need to ask him for this particular interview. Now, it has almost a dozen default ones in this particular one, but depending on how long of an interview you want to do, it has more, and all of them have extra ones. So literally, we can just copy this, and we can paste it up here, and we can make whatever length interview we want. And then we have the conclusion here, thanks Stu for a great interview. I'm sure all of our tactical athletes over 40. And the cool thing is that, again, every single one of these is different. And every single interview is different based on the information that's put into the wizard. In fact, in the live comments below, Susan said, "I own the 3-hour Kindle book wizard and I love it. Massively cool." Thank you, Susan. Awesome. So that's the first thing, is we have our interview done. Now, let's say we didn't like that title. Okay, well, let's write 100 titles really, really fast. All right, let's do that. Boom. Done. All right. Here's a whole bunch of titles that coincide with all the different interview types. So if we'd been doing a tips, tricks, and interview, we could have done recovery and maintenance tips every tactical athlete over 40 needs to know. Here's the success ways fundamentals. So the beginner's guide for recovery and maintenance, things every tactical athlete over 40 should know. So again, all of these are done for you, and you can use one of these as is, or you can use them and combine them with a title and a subtitle, or you can adapt them however you want. So we just did 100 titles there real quick. Now, one of the things that you need to have is your book listing, description, and back cover copy, especially if you're going to do a create space. And that's one of the things it takes for everybody forever to do. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do our Amazon listing and our back cover copy instantly right now. Boom, done. So here we go. So attention all tactical athletes over 40 who want to enjoy intense workouts to increase strength, recover faster, and even avoid injuries. If you're looking to succeed with recovery and maintenance, then this brand new book by recovery and maintenance expert Stu Smith reveals how every tactical athlete over 40 can understand how to train effectively and actively pursue recovery. In fact, here's just a sample of what Stu will cover for you in the pages of this insightful new book. And so we've got all of the bullets, which I'll show you where we got these in just a second. And so this is plenty for both the back cover and for your actual your Amazon listing, and even for your own website. Now you see these bullets right here. Stu Smith's first major breakthrough with recovery and maintenance, and what you can learn from it to reach your own success. And if you remember earlier in the training, I told you, okay, one of the ways to come up with your bullets and things like that is to use the questions. What if this software could take those questions that you're going to ask and turn them into massively persuasive bullets that were incredible pieces of sales copy? Would that be cool? Well, let me show you exactly how it does that. Literally, we come down here and where it says new idea or technique, it will write all your sales copy bullets for you. Boom. And what it does is it takes all the questions from the interview and it translates them into bullets. So this, tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of recovery and stuff. And then the questions, so Stu Smith's first major breakthrough with recovery and maintenance, how the world of recovery and maintenance is different now than when Stu got started. So it takes all of those questions and rewrites them and customizes them for you into amazing bullets. Now, you remember I also told you that one of the ways to create chapter titles is to use your questions as the chapter titles. But what if we could take those questions and rewrite them into amazing chapter titles? So the question, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, becomes meet your recovery and maintenance expert, Stu Smith. Recovery and maintenance roadblocks Stu Smith overcame, a big breakthrough with how to train effectively and actively pursue recovery. How to recovery and maintenance is different now. So every single one of those questions has been translated into not only amazing sales copy bullets, but also into compelling chapter titles. All of these things saving you a ton of time, energy, and effort, and making it drop dead easy for you to be able to get the stuff out of your head and get it into book form and not get jerked around trying to figure it out. Now, what if you wanted to sell it off of your own website? Well, I'll tell you what, let's create a sales letter for that book instantly. Boom. There you go. There's your sales letter. All right. Complete with your headline, attention tactical athletes over 40. Listen as recovery and maintenance expert Stu Smith reveals tactical fitness for the athlete over 40, actively pursuing recovery and maintenance, how to train effectively and actively pursue recovery. So it's got your intro, all your bullets, all the information about Stu. It's got everything, including your PSs, using problem, agitate, solve formula, which is the world's best sales copywriting formula. Now, you also remember that I told you that you need to write a cover letter, right? That tells people it's an interview. Well, let's write that cover letter really fast. Boom, done. All right. So, attention, a special note about how this book was created. Dear Tactical Athlete Over 40, thanks for claiming your copy of the Tactical Fitness for the Athlete Over 40. And so it tells them, hey, this was created as a live interview. I want you to feel as though I'm talking with you. Let's get ready to take your recovery and maintenance to the next level so you can understand how to train effectively and actively pursue recovery. Let's get started with being able to do physically what you did when you were 20 right now. Sincerely, Stu Smith. Bang! Done. Awesome. So last thing that I want to talk to you about is, of course, Stu's got to have his bio page in there. So let's do Stu's bio right now. Boom, done. Meet Stu Smith. Stu's an expert in recovery and maintenance whose accomplishments include graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, trained thousands, certified strength and conditioning, former U.S. Navy SEAL officer. So boom, his whole bio is done. So all of these things that hold people up, the software does for you. Boom, 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 boom. It's done. Everything's done. And I want you to think about something real quick. That's pretty much it. It does a lot of other stuff too. It writes ads for you. It writes all your emails. It'll do stealth closes. It'll ask people to let you interview them, ask them to interview you. It even, I mean, it has the prep emails, confirmation emails, just several different types for each interview that you can do. So if you want to do like a fast report, like the one I showed you that got back from Rev, if you want to even create a workbook, it turns all the questions into fill in the blank stuff. It just does a ton of other things we don't have time to show right now. But think about what we did show and see, okay? We created the entire interview, all right? We created our Amazon copy, our back of the book copy. We wrote all of our sales copy bullets. We wrote all of our chapter titles. We wrote our cover letter. We wrote our bio. We created an entire sales letter, and we did some other really cool stuff too. So that's pretty amazing, and I hope that you can see. Let me know down in the Q&A box. We have a bunch of people who already have the software who are saying it's super cool, awesome, awesome, awesome. But for those of you that don't have it yet, let me share with you there's one thing I forgot. Okay. If you wanted to do your interview as a webinar or something like that, what you can do is this will make all of your slides for you. So literally, if you wanted to do this as a webinar, I just created all the slides. So what's new with recovery and maintenance, interview with Stu Smith. Welcome, Stu. Tell us a little bit about yourself. So this is a fully editable PowerPoint. You can use your own template. You can change it, add pictures, do whatever you want. But this creates an entire webinar slide deck for you at the click of a mouse. So that's pretty cool. People think that's neat too. So just to tell you how Stu's book did, Stu actually, this is his book listed on Amazon. He actually it was so successful and has been so successful. He actually got contacted by Amazon. They enrolled him in a special program where they're helping him actually sell more copies of his book. If we look right here, there's where it is right now. So he's got another couple of customer reviews on there. But that's his book. He's got it up there as Kindle and also as a paperback version as well. So how has he done with this book so far? Well, the book started selling like crazy at a premium price point. Did you notice he was selling that for, let me show you just in case you missed that. He's selling the Kindle book for $9.99, $10. He's not selling it for 99 cents. All right. He's selling a real book at a real price. So the other thing is that it shot to #1 bestseller in a popular Kindle fitness category. It earned thousands in royalties within 30 days. I'm not authorized to tell you the exact figure, but it is a high four-figure. It's not like $1,001. It's real money. In fact, Stu told me that was his single biggest month ever on Amazon. And by the way, Stu's been publishing his books since 1997. So that's a big deal. He's a full-time fitness writer. He received real 5-star reviews from thrilled readers. Sales from Stu's other fitness books spiked as well because people saw his book. They got his book. They saw he had other books and they bought those. And the most incredible part, as far as I'm concerned, I'm grabbing a copy of his book. He added a dozen new, and that figure's actually low now. He added over a dozen new high-ticket coaching clients to the back end of his fitness business. He charges $300 a quarter for him to send you workouts, customized workouts. That's how I met Stu. He's actually my coach. So pretty damn good from a book, wouldn't you say? And so here's a copy of his book. This one's actually spiral bound so that he can the people can lay it flat. But you can see right in here, all right? Look at that, all right? I actually interviewed him for the book, but it says Jim, Stu, Jim, Stu, Jim, Stu, all the way through, all right? So are you going to, for people who are like, oh, an interview book, that's not a real book. You tell a Navy SEAL with 25 years as an author that this book, his most successful book on a single book in a single month on Amazon, is not a real book. I dare you. All right. Everything we've talked about is real. That's the demo of the software. And the bottom line is what really matters to you with your own real book. All right. Number one, you have your own content that came out of your head. It's got a professional cover and it's formatted correctly and it's published on Amazon. That's what makes your book a real book. Now, I'm having people asking, hey, how do I get this? And how much is it? And what's the link? And all that good stuff. Greg, do you have any reaction to this real quick before we tell people how they can get a copy of the software?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even realize that the software actually created the webinar presentation as well as the sales letter. That is slick.
Yep. It does other stuff too that I didn't even show.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I like about that is one of the things that we do on our Amazon products is we actually, in the description, you know what a lot of people do in their description is they describe the product.
Right.
We put a sales letter.
Right.
So looking at this, I'm like, holy cow, I could use this to write my sales letters. And you're a sales guy, so you know what good copy is.
Sure.
And I know what good copy is. When you pulled up that copy in the headline, that's not no BS headline. That was a very good headline that it came up with. And that's what's going to drive conversions. That's what's going to drive people to buy your book once they see it on Amazon or Kindle or a place like that. So well done. I thought it was fantastic.
Cool. Well, thanks. So people are asking, how can I get it? So let me show you how you can get it. This is your chance to hit the easy button for this entire process. So I've got a special offer for you on the 3-Hour Kindle Book Wizard. And basically, this is your chance, again, to push the easy button and build momentum, get all the parts done instantly, and spend your time creating content and get on with life. Make it insanely easy on yourself to create Kindle books, print books, ebooks, special reports, and more. And so the 3-Hour Kindle Book Wizard software basically creates all your book material, including creates 11 different 100% customized interview tracks, the entire PowerPoint slide decks of every interview, 100 plus customized book title templates, your custom chapter titles, your book length interviews, report style interviews, custom interviews of any length that you choose. Plus, it creates all your sales copy and marketing materials, including your book listing description for Amazon, your back cover copy, your custom sales copy bullets, your cover letter, your bio, your paid sales letter, a free sales letter, your stealth closes, and it also writes all your emails, including your announcement email teaser, an announcement email teaser for your affiliates, email asking somebody to interview you, email asking somebody to let you interview them, email asking people for referrals, interview confirmation, even the thank you email, and so much more. Now, the 3-Hour Kindle Book Wizard software has a total value of $497. And if you only got that, it would be worth every single penny. But I also want to include training and tools to ensure your success. So we're including a whole bunch of additional training. I've got an entire create your own unique Kindle book in 3 hours flat training, walking you step by step through the process. That's a value of $97. 34 ways to make money with your own book. So I've always been a big proponent of using your book to make money. And so I'm going to show you 34 different ways to make money with your own book without getting on the New York Times bestseller list. I'm also going to include my 17-minute book marketing program. And this is where I teach you 10 different ways to market your book in 17 minutes a day or less. So this does not have to eat you up. Also, I'm going to teach you 15 mistakes ebook authors make that kill sales, explode refunds, and destroy credibility, and how to fix them. I'm going to show you how to avoid the traps that cause people to keep themselves from actually making money. I'm also going to include an interactive checklist that'll walk you step by step through the process, so you'll be able to keep track of exactly where you are, and it includes links to different services and all the different things that we use. So you're going to get the 3-Hour Kindle Book Wizard software. You're going to get the 34 ways to make money with your own ebook training, the create your own unique Kindle book in 3 hours flat, the 17-minute book marketing training, the 15 mistakes ebook authors make, total value $885. But that's not all, because I'm also going to include 2 more wizards for you. The first one is the Expert Interview Wizard. And by the way, all of this software works on both PC and Mac. I never mentioned that. All this software works on both PC and Mac. And here's the thing. Everybody knows that the best way to sell books, to get people into your funnel, is to do interviews on your topic, and then you pitch people about your book on the end, whether it's podcasts, whether it's Facebook Live, whether it's on local radio. And the cool thing about Expert Interview Wizard is it takes less than 10 minutes to generate everything you need to find, approach, and persuade list owners, bloggers, podcasters in virtually any topic area to interview you on your topic so you can sell more books. And the cool thing about Expert Interview Wizard is it includes 13 different interview types, all different lengths of interview, whether you want to do a 5-minute interview or a 90-minute interview. It'll create your ads, create your sales copy, it'll create your email teasers, your titles, stealth closes. It creates approach letters so you can go after specific experts to let you interview them, or hosts to get them to interview you. Your customized referral request letters, confirmation letters, interview prep letters, thank you letters, and more. This individual software has a value of $497 as well. We're also going to include the Expert Interview Sales Page Wizard, again, that works on both PC and Mac. And what this does is this creates all the sales copy you need to sell your interview content. So let's say you want to do interviews and you want to actually sell it. Why would you do this? Well, remember, we said the book is the start of a funnel. Well, if you want to create high-ticket courses on the back end of your books, what easier way to do it than to do interviews more in depth on various topics in your book? So you sell people the book and then you sell them courses on the back end. The courses are interviews as well. So what this software will do is write the sales copy so you can sell those interviews on the back end. Create your cover letters, your sales copy, free offer, paid offer. It'll even write video sales letters for you, headline templates, title templates, and more. And again, this software also carries a value of $497. So you're going to get all three wizards included in this special package offer. So you're going to get the 3-hour Kindle book wizard, all the training, plus the Expert Interview Wizard and the Expert Interview Sales Page Wizard, total value $1,879. But that's not all, because I'm also going to include world-class training on how you can use interviews to massively expand your business. Basically, a lot of people have asked, how can I make money with interviews on the back end? How do I conduct a great interview? How do I physically do an interview? How do I package it up and publish it and sell it? How do I sell the interviews, drive traffic, and get people to pay me? How do I get people to interview me so I can sell my books and courses? So I put together what I think is the definitive guide on making money with interviews. I call it Expert Interview Secrets. It's complete training with a $997 value. This is how you can create back-end products for your books super, super easily. And so in the Expert Interview Secrets training, I'm going to teach you 5 different in-depth classes: the big picture about interview profits, the interview, how to physically do an interview, how to publish and package your interview, how to sell your interview content, and how to get people to interview you so you can promote your stuff. So you're going to get the 3-hour Kindle book wizard. You're going to get all the training, the 2 bonus interviews, plus the 6-part home study course, total value $2,876. And I want you to think about, what's the potential worth to you? How much could you make from just one Kindle book that had the right kind of funnel built around it? How much is just one unique physical book of your very own worth to you as the authority in your niche or industry? How many leads could you get? How many more sales could you make? How much instant credibility will you enjoy? How will you look at yourself in the mirror now that you're a published author? I've also got another bonus for you. You're going to get my live interview sessions. If you're not sure how to do a specific type of interview, you can watch over my shoulder as I do every single one of the 13 different interview types for my podcast. That's $197 value. And I interview 13 different experts, from New York Times bestsellers to Navy SEALs to a guy who built a $100 million company and sold it. So They're all different interviews with all different people. Amazing, great content in and amongst themselves, but a great education on how to do the actual interviews. So you're going to get the 3-hour Kindle Book Wizard software, all the training, the 2 bonus wizards, the 6-part expert interview secrets training, the 13 live sessions, total value $3,073. But here's the thing, guys, information alone isn't going to do it for you. We've covered a ton and you've learned a lot on this webinar, but the software is what's going to help make the difference in whether you actually get this done or not. So at this point, you can make money or you can make excuses. You can get the software, you can make your books, you can create your back-end products, you can write your sales letters automatically, or you can make excuses as to why this wouldn't work for you. But you can't do both. You can either make money or you can make excuses. This software and system were literally 20 years in the making. This is like me reaching back to that young guy in 1995 and saying, hey, look, dude, you took 4 years to write that book. And my latest book, I got the content created in 72 minutes. So again, you're going to get the 3-hour Kindle Book Wizard software, all the training, the 2 bonus wizards, the big home study course, plus the 13 live interview sessions, total value $3,073. It's worth every penny of $3,073, but you're not going to pay that. You're not going to pay my accountant's price of $997. He says everything I sell should be $1,000. You're also not going to pay the regular price. If you go to 3hourkindlebookwizard.com, you'll see we sell it on that site every single day for $497. But because you are here with Greg, we have a special webinar offer of $247 for everything that I've shown you for just a one-time payment of $247. But as a special gift to webinar attendees, I'm going to give you $50 more off. Right now, your price is only $197 when you go to 3hourkindlebookwizard.com/Greg and you use the coupon code GREG50OFF. Now, let me show you how to actually buy, because I don't want you to have any delay whatsoever in getting this software. So when you go to 3hourkindlebookwizard.com/Greg, you'll see a link that says only $247. Click the Buy Now button. Remember the coupon code GREG50OFF. When you get onto the order page, you'll see a coupon code blank there. You're going to put that coupon code in, GREG50OFF. You're going to click the apply button. Then up here in the upper right hand corner, you're going to see it switch from $247 to $197. And that will show that your $50 discount has taken place. Then you're going to fill out your contact email, your PayPal email address. If you don't use PayPal, then just click the checkout, check the box to use credit card through PayPal, and you can use it just like a regular shopping cart. You're going to click the checkout with PayPal button. You're going to log in with your PayPal account, or you're going to fill out the shopping cart here. The URL to order is 3hourkindlebookwizard.com/Greg. If we could put that into the chat box, that would be great. Susan, I don't know if you are here and can do that. That would be terrific if you could just put that in 3hourkindlebookwizard.com/Greg. Then it's going to complete your order. And then it's going to say return to JVZoo. Just let it reload on its own. Take 5 or 10 seconds. If not, click the return to JVZoo. Then you're going to get to your JVZoo receipt. Listen to what I'm saying right now. You are not done yet. You want to scroll down that page where it says JVZoo. In the pink area, going to say thanks for your purchase. Your username is your email address that you entered in, and then your password. We're going to automatically assign you a password to be able to access the software, and you can change that later if you want. And then you're going to click the green access your purchase button. That's going to take you over to my site, and you're going to put in your username again, which is your email address that you entered in the very first step. The password that we gave you on that page, you're going to click login, and then it's going to give you access to the 3-hour Kindle Book Wizard dashboard where you'll be able to download and access everything. You're also going to get 3 emails from us. You're going to get a registration email for the Wizard, which also contains your username, your password, and the login URL. You're going to get a welcome email from us, and you're going to get a receipt from JVZoo. The thing to understand about this email you get from JVZoo is that it has a username and password in it, but that's not your username and password to access the software. That's your username and password to access the JVZoo site to see your receipt, okay? So the big thing to understand is that that's how you register the software. Okay, so all this means you're going to get the 3-hour Kindle Book Wizard software. You're going to get all the training, the 2 bonus wizards, the 6-part expert interview secrets home study course, the 13 live interview sessions, total value $3,073. Get it now. 3hourkindlebookwizard.com/Greg. Use the coupon code Greg50 off. Now, Greg, do we have any questions that we need to hit real quick?
Let's take a look.
And then we'll wrap it up.
First of all, awesome presentation.
Thank you.
I love all of your wizards. And as someone who's been online for a long time, you know what we always talk about, and you and I say this all the time, is if only there was another me. How do we double ourselves, right? And the reason internet marketers, we always say this is because there's things that we want to do. Not that it's hard, but there's things that if we can only get some help doing this, I'd do more of it. So guys, this really is that easy button, because with this tool and this wizard, you can do more of it. In fact, Jim, one of your wizards I've used to make multiple 6 figures with. I took the content directly out of the wizard, used it as is. I didn't change anything. And the reason I did that was when you told me you were coming out with it, I said, sure, I'll test it for you. So for me, it was a test. So I didn't want to change anything. But when I saw the kind of money I made from it, I had no need to change any of the content. Sweet. So the wizards are awesome. So let's see if we have any questions. Well, you've answered this, which is, what is the URL to order? That is a 3hourkindlebookwizard.com/Greg. I also typed that into the chat box also for you guys. Someone says, is it suggested to use CreateSpace or KDP?
Well, KDP is Kindle Desktop Publishing, which is basically Kindle. So CreateSpace will create your print book, and KDP is what publishes your book on Kindle. So I suggest both.
Awesome. I know the answer to this one, but I'll ask anyway. Can this work for fiction books as well?
Not really. However, you could use this to promote your fiction book. So you could do interviews about the genre, about your characters, about just all the stuff around your book, but you wouldn't actually use this to create the fiction book itself.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. For fiction books, I think it's great for, your book covers, the back of the book covers, and your sales material, but maybe not necessarily for the content. But for the sales material, why not?
Exactly.
I mean, you got to promote your book,
right?
So I think it'd be fine for that.
Okay.
Do you have to get permission from the experts that you interview to use their dialogue, the books?
I would.
I'm assuming in the books.
Yeah, in the books. I would. I mean, but you can do that with an email. I'm not an attorney and I don't play one on the internet. Typically, the way I do it is it's done with an email agreement where it's, hey, I'm going to do this. And that's something that we discuss in depth in the Expert Interview Secrets course. But the bottom line is typically I just pay, quote unquote, pay them by giving them a copy of the interview and they can use it however they want.
Yeah. And I've done that too. I had a membership site where we interviewed people on a monthly basis. And what I did was I said, hey, we're using this for our membership site, but I'll give you a copy of it and you can do whatever the heck you want to do with that.
Yeah.
And it's no competition because guess what? 99% of them don't know what to do with it.
Nah, they won't do anything with it. And if they do, it's just going to give you publicity anyway. So.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that looked like it was it for the questions. Let me wrap this up and then we'll just go from here. So the thing, let's talk for just a quick minute about what you could spend $200 on, other stuff you could blow $200 on. Okay. Cause this is really what we're talking about here. It's not a lot of money. You could buy a pair of Beats by Dre headphones, which if you sat on them, they would break and they're made out of plastic. You could buy this cool plush horse costume, and I wouldn't really wear that during deer hunting season, especially not around where I live or where Greg lives, because, well, that could be disastrous. Or my favorite is you could buy 1 ounce of beluga caviar, smear it on some Ritz crackers, and be done with it in about 30 seconds. You really have 2 choices, okay? Your first option is to do nothing and suffer from too much work, take weeks or months to get your first or next book written, and struggle forever. Or second option is pull the extra change out of your pocket, and for under $200, way under $200, you can have all of your book writing, content creation, and book promo needs taken care of forever. And by the way, if I can't make you money, I don't deserve yours. So we have a 100% risk-free guarantee. The 3-hour Kindle Book Wizard will do exactly what we promise and so much more. Use it for 30 days risk-free. Put it to the test. If it isn't everything we say it is and more, you'll get a full and complete refund. We also have one more bonus, quick action bonus, how to put tripwires and lead magnets into your Kindle books. 15 ways to get more leads, more sales, build your audience from inside your Kindle books. We'll show you basically how to turn your Kindle books into lead magnet machines and sales machines. We show you 15 different ways to do it. So again, for just $197, you're going to get everything we've talked about. Go to 3hourkindlebookwizard.com/Greg. Use the coupon code Greg50 off. And we have all sorts of training and other stuff in there that I didn't even mention. This is a heck of a deal. If you're serious about doing this, this is definitely something that will make it so much easier for you to do it. And Greg, I really, really appreciate you being here and having me in front of your group. And any last words?
Yep, I actually do. First of all, thank you for taking the time. I know you were busy today and had to move a couple things to be able to do this for my guys. So I definitely appreciate that. So guys, my answer to you is if you're looking for that easy button or that easier button, this is it. This allows you to create content. And as an internet marketer and someone who's looking to build an internet business, you've got to have content out there. I mean, that's what the internet is. You know, people see your content, you have your offers in there, they buy more from you. This cannot get any easier. It gives you the ability to become an author as many times as you want to and as unlimited as possible. So take action. Get yourself started. Go to 3hourkindlebookwizard.com/Greg and sign up. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Bye-bye, everybody.